Hi, welcome to today's presentation, Conducting Historical Research on World War II Aircrew with No Known Grave. My name is Dr. Kim Bergeron, and I'm with Queen's University and part of the Acadia University Recovery Program. This presentation was developed as part of the Acadia University Recovery Program, with funding provided by the Veteran Affairs Canada Veteran Commemorative Partnership Program. The Acadia University Recovery Program is a university-led program that focuses on the historical, investigative research, recovery, identification, and commemoration of Canadian Missing in Action, or MIA, military service personnel from World War I, World War II, and the Korean conflict. We seek opportunities to actively work on all 5 recovery program stages outlined on your screen. Our efforts are focused on all 5 areas. The first is a policy change by advocating for change in Canada to shift the Canadian Casualty Identification Program from a passive to an active program. The second is to conduct historical and investigative research focusing on World War II Missing in Action Aircrew. We also offer field school opportunities to post-secondary students and interested volunteers to be part of an active recovery program, and we promote and utilize technological advances in forensic, genetics, genealogy, anthropology, and archaeology in our work. Our last focus is to increase public awareness, to remember and engage the public to help us actively finish the life stories of these fallen heroes to the fullest account possible. For some, this may mean that based on conducting historical research, there is not enough information to justify an active search mission. For others, it may mean engaging in an active search and recovery mission on foreign soil. Today's focus is on increasing public awareness. We are a multidisciplinary team. We bring a wealth of experience in archaeology, policy analysis, and technological and social innovation. We started working collaboratively in the fall of 2023. The Acadia University Recovery Program was formally launched on November 5th, 2024. By the end of the presentation, you will be able to understand the role of the Royal Canadian Air Force in the Second World War and why the Acadia University Recovery Program is focusing on the 3,749 missing in action aircrew with no known graves. You'll also be able to apply the steps for conducting historical research to tell the life story of a missing in action aircrew with no known grave and contribute to the work of the Acadia University Recovery. The Royal Canadian Air Force, often called the RCAF, was established in 1924 during a time of peace. In 1939, Canada, Great Britain, New Zealand, and Australia signed an agreement creating the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan. The British Commonwealth Air Training Plan was located in Canada. The plan's mandate was to train Allied air crews for the Second World War, including pilots, navigators, bomb aimers, wireless operators, air gunners, and flight engineers. Aviation schools were built across Canada. Of the more than 131,000 aircrew trained in Canada, almost 73,000 were Canadian. A large portion would fulfill their wartime service in Canada as part of the Home War Establishment, engaged in training and support tasks. Thousands of young Canadian women volunteered to serve at home and abroad during the Second World War as part of the Air Force. By replacing men in aviation support roles, they lived up to their motto, "We serve that men may fly," and ensured themselves a place in Canadian history through their record of service and sacrifice. The first 3 RCAF squadrons were sent to England during the first 6 months of 1940. Number 1 Fighter Squadron arrived just in time to participate in the Battle of Britain. The RCAF overseas grew rapidly, establishing a strong presence within British formations such as fighter, coastal, and transport commands. The greatest concentration of Canadian airmen served within Number 6 RCAF Group, Bomber Command. Although there would be a total of 48 RCAF squadrons and numerous other units serving in theaters of war ranging from Europe to the Far East, the vast majority of Canadians abroad served in RAF organizations. By the late 1944, the RCAF peaked as the 4th largest Allied Air Force with more than 215,000 personnel in uniform, including about 17,000 members of the Women's Division. Women served in 69 of the 102 trades in the RCAF, including aircraft maintenance and air traffic control. By the time the war ended, more than 18,000 members of the RCAF had given their lives in the service of their country. Of this number, 30 women died in active service and have graves, and just over 3,700 aircrew who are men are deemed as unaccounted for military fatality or missing in action with no known grave. There are 27,000 Canadian military service personnel from World War I, World War II, and the Korean conflict who have no known graves. Of this number, 20,000 are from the First World War, 7,000 from the Second World War, and 16 from the Korean conflict. Almost all Army fatalities from World War I and World War II have known graves, even if they're mass graves. And the proportion of naval losses at sea are commemorated on memorials, and their remains are not recoverable. The approximately 3,000 plus aircrew are commemorated as having no known graves. However, some may be recoverable. Conducting historical research on the 3,749 missing in action aircrew will help complete the life stories of these fallen heroes and identify those that may be recoverable. And this is why the Acadia University Recovery Program has created a database focusing on these missing in action aircrew. And we need your help. So the database is available at this web link, and here on the slide you can see the pictures. And we have developed it to help the public, students, historians, or other people interested in contributing to finishing the stories of these Canadian heroes. And we have organized them by provinces and by towns, by hometowns. And so you could go to the database and you will see on the home page, it tells you how you can participate. We've also written a guide on how to conduct historical research. We have provided a place for you to upload your report. And if you look at the top of the screen, you can see this is the home page. We have an About section that tells you who we are about and why we're focusing on the 3749 missing in action aircrew. There's the database, which is the image on the bottom. We have a spot for complete stories. So when you pick a name and you register with us, and you can register as a class, you can make this a school assignment, individuals can pick a name. You click on the name in the database and it asks you for your name and your email address, and then we will send instructions and we will check in with you in 4 to 6 weeks to see how the research is going. When you're done writing your report, you can come back to our website, go to the home page and go to number 4, submit, and click on the here and upload your story. We will review it, verify it, and if all checks out, we will then put a summary of the story that you created from your historical research under our completed stories section. We also have a news section. So we are doing an event. Our first event is May 8th, 2025, and that is celebrating and remembering 80 years since victory in Europe and the ending of World War II in Europe. So we will post some information there. And most importantly, you can see in the right-hand corner, there's the research guide. So this is a picture of the research guide. We have written out the steps and outlined all the links on how to actually conduct historical research. And that is what we are hoping that the public, students, historians, and others interested in research and writing will use the guide and the links to pick a name and research their story. So that is the formal presentation. This is part of a lesson plan. So we hope that you will use the tools developed in order to help us complete the stories of these missing in action aircrew with no known graves from World War II. Thank you.